Hey guys, it's Kane. Welcome to another Autism Digest interview, where today I have an incredible individual with me. I had a plan for Autism Awareness Month with four interviews, but I got a message from the agent of this individual who wanted me to squeeze him in, so I figured, why not? You might have seen him on Stephen Colbert, Comedy Central. He has a new special out called P and Me. He is the amazing Mr. Graham K. Thanks for coming on, Graham.
Thank you for having me, Caden. I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me promote my comedy special about my amazing brother and our relationship.
Absolutely. For those that may not know you, do you mind telling a bit of your story in your own words?
Yeah, I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm originally from Canada. I live in New York now. And I have a brother named Peter who is, I guess these days you would say profoundly autistic, somewhere in that realm, maybe level two. I don't know. And anyway, um, we grew up. Obviously, he's my only sibling, and we grew up taking care of each other. And I started writing jokes about not about him, but about our situation and about situations that we found ourselves in. And it just became a full thing, and I decided to do an off-Broadway show about it. There was no real um, nothing out there about what it's like to be a sibling and also what it's like to like the the family side of things. I would like so I just wanted to make something to tell my side and how how and everything out there is seems if you are a family member and they give you media and it's sort of like, well, it's going to be hard, your life's going to be hard, it's a lot of work. And I wanted to present something that was happy, that was hopeful, and showed how much better my life is because of my relationship with my brother, how much better my life and my community has been because of my brother, how closer I am with my cousins because of my brother, and how closer I'm closer to my brother because he has autism than if he didn't. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we would argue about, I don't know, all my friends argue about politics with their siblings and stuff, and I don't have to worry about that. We talk to each other every day, and I don't know anybody who talks to their brother every single day. you know, it rules. And I just wanted to put something out there that was like, no, it's cool. It's cool, guys, you know? So,
Exactly. And I was going to ask what experiences you had interacting with the autism community, but you answered that beautifully. I agree.
yeah,
We need more media showing that there's hope for these
yeah,
families, and having an autistic
yeah,
family member can better you as a person.
yeah.
That's why I admire that story, which transitions into my next question for you. In your opinion, how can comedy help people better understand neurodiversity and reduce stigma?
It's a very good question. Um, I think comedy is a very good communication tool to be able to speak truthfully about something and make people you can tell your side of the story and not do it in a sad or serious way. I think people tend to tune out. Like if I was going to tell people what my relationship was to my brother, with my brother who has autism, to a group of people who don't know, who aren't in that community, didn't grow up in that community, they would, and it wasn't funny or it was serious. Most people honestly would tune me out. They would just sort of go, well, it doesn't really concern me. I don't have, but you can pepper in like a spoonful of sugar, helps the medicine go down kind of thing. And I don't know, it just now people know, they sit through an hour of me talking about my relationship and they learn who my brother is. And by the end of the show, when I wait outside the theater, people walk out and they go, "I want to meet your brother. He sounds like the coolest guy in the world." And I'm like, "Yes, this is the point." But if I was like, what if I was just telling serious stories about how, you know, he pooped the pool when I was my for my birthday party and it was ruined, but I learned to be resilient, who cares? That's like doom and gloom stuff. That's not, yeah, it's also not real life. Like you learn to just roll with that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And as I tell all the people in the comedy industry I have on here, that's exactly what we need in the world of comedy. For risk perspective with real stories to hopefully teach people more empathy for certain groups.
Empathy. I think it's a really good tool for empathy. Comedy can be a bad tool for empathy, but it can also be a good tool for empathy. There's a lot of comedians out there who use it as, see, my brother's calling me right now. Talk every day, but I'll call him back. But if used correctly, you can, yeah, you can show love.
Exactly. It's honestly the goal with any form of entertainment,
Hmm.
which leads to my next question for you. Stand up comedy requires timing, reading the room, and adapting quickly. What
Hmm.
advice would you give neurodivergent comedians who may find those aspects challenging?
I think that when I think about my open mic days, so comedy, you start doing open mics and you see a lot of people who who have a lot in the beginning, who have a lot of charisma but aren't good joke writers, and you see a lot of people who are really good joke writers who don't have traditional charisma, who don't have any good stage presence, who have trouble interacting with people off stage, and sure enough, years later, those people, I'd see them post and say, "I've been diagnosed with autism." And those people were always my favorite comedians because they were the best writers and they stuck with it. They kept um, they kept going and they learned how to mask enough on stage where they could present the written form that they were obsessed with in the correct order that they were obsessed with and sort of mask in a way that the audience would 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 be able to follow along and get the point, get what they wanted to present. So my overarching, um, I think we're all eye mask. We all kind of have to, when you're performing, that's what it is. And I think that if you are a performer and you have trouble connecting with the audience because of autism, I would say keep going, and you will learn how to connect with them over time. It might take you a long time. It might take you 5 years. It took me 6 years to become good at stand-up comedy. It might take you a long time, but you will find out. Like my friend Michael Lawrence, he is someone with he has autism, and he figured out how to. He's a stand-up comedian. He's a really talented writer. He does a lot of roast joke writing for Comedy Central and stuff, and he writes for the Emmys and the Oscars and stuff for Nikki Glazer, and he learned how to turn his the way he like he his he sort of he has autism and he learned how to use his certain stimming as part of his stage presence. He learned how to turn that into a positive where they accept him and then they have empathy for him. But it took him a long time. In the beginning, he was just just a really good writer, and you had to really pay attention to understand that he was. Another comedian, a lot of comedians say that Dave Attell is the best comedian of all time. And Dave Attell, not Chappelle, but Attell. And he was very bad at stage presence for the first 6 years. And now he's one of the best. And it's because he pushed through. And I would assume that if he was young, he's like 60, but if he was younger, I would assume he'd be diagnosed as being neurodivergent.
Those meetings are interesting, and I
Mhm.
absolutely agree. I think it's definitely about making your differences a part of
Mhm.
your act. And I'll have to check out Dave Adele's work. I
Yeah.
haven't really heard of him. I'm more
Look
of
up
a
Mike Lawrence. Mike Lawrence is a really, really good stand-up comedian too, but not a lot of people know about him. He went
I'll
more into the
have
writing.
I'll definitely have to check him out. I'm a bit into the older comics, the Chris
Mhm.
Farley's and Richard Pryor's and those
Yeah,
kinds of
yeah.
comedians, which leads to my next question. What are some ways comedy venues could be made more sensory friendly for neurodivergent audience members?
Well, are there like what there are some good things about being in a comedy club. Um, I would say if you are neurodivergent, I would say probably ask to sit in the back. Say I'm neurodivergent. I don't want to sit in the front. I don't want them to talk to me. I don't want the lights. The lights are brighter in the front. Um, I I don't know. You tell me, like, what is an issue that you would have sitting in the audience of a comedy club? Like, what are some triggers?
I honestly, me personally, wouldn't have any issues sitting
Yeah,
with a comedy club, but you make a good point. It's all about preference, I think.
yeah, yeah. I would. I mean, I don't know because I mean, I haven't been diagnosed with being neurodivergent, but I would assume that sitting in a comedy club would be good, uh, because it's just one person talking. The lights are on them, not on you, so there's not bright lights. You can choose where you want to look. If you're not seated in the front, no one's going to talk to you. You're in the dark. You're kind of um, you know, by yourself. Like no one's looking at you. So you're kind of there's not any loud, unexpected noises. There's just someone talking. They might go like blah or whatever, but that's about it. There's no music. Um, I don't know. I feel like in terms of all of the triggers I know of, it feels like a pretty low on the triggering spectrum
Yeah, exactly.
level.
Like I said, it's all about preference, I think.
Yeah.
Which transitions into my last question for you. What does the future hold for you? Do you have anything else apart from special you're working on that you want to promote?
I have my new comedy special, Pete and Me, about my brother. It is specifically about autism. I'm really proud of it. It took me a long time to get good enough at stand-up comedy to talk about this subject. I never wanted to talk about my brother on stage because I did not want people to laugh at him. I did not want to be seen as someone making fun of my brother. And I've been doing comedy for 20 years, and it took me about that long to be skilled enough to make jokes about it that show empathy and love first, front facing, and that would make audiences, I'm sure, not laugh at him and love him. And so I'm really proud of that feat. And I would like your audience to watch it and message me and tell me what they think because I really value their opinion.
We'll definitely be sure to watch it. Anyways, that's going to do it for this time. You guys, thanks so much to Graham for coming on and sharing his perspectives. If you guys want to see more amazing interviews, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Autism Digest channel. Pick up our latest issue by going to autismdigest.com and be on the lookout for our next issue that's coming out in a few days. And stay tuned for the audio file to be posted on our Spotify. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.